something a little different on my video today, and I've decided I'm going to pick out 3 communities in Calgary that I absolutely love. Now, I want to make something really clear here. There are a lot of awesome neighborhoods, and I mean awesome neighborhoods in Calgary. These are just 3 that I particularly like, but I will be the first to tell you if I was looking to buy a new home or move to a new community, there are many other communities besides these 3 that I would also consider. I just wanted to give you a good understanding of a few awesome neighborhoods just for you to consider. And of course, if you are interested in moving to Calgary, or even if you're already here and you're looking at other communities and you want to get a little more information from me on some of the pros and cons of various different communities, believe me, I'm a computer of knowledge on all of them because I've had the good fortune of representing buyers and sellers just like you in every community in Calgary. Over the last 24 years, there's not one community in this city that I haven't been involved in real estate with. So I know them all really well. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to focus on just 3 and give you a little bit of a deep dive on why I like some of these communities. So you'll notice that on my screen, I've got Aspen Woods as one of my favorite communities. Now, first of all, if you look at the location of Aspen Woods, they did a great job on building this on the west side. And what's nice about the west side, of course, you have access to the mountains. And this is a big deal. I mean, a lot of people like to go to the mountains on weekends and when they have time off, hiking, biking, skiing, and just enjoy what all of the mountain life offers. And you'll notice here that Stony Trail is going to be completed in 2024. Right now, it does actually go to Bow Trail, but you'll be able to access Stony Trail, get right onto Highway 1, and access out to the mountains pretty easy. You'll also notice there's a few other really nice features about Aspen Woods. You do have the Weber Academy, the Calgary Academy. If you want your children to have a superior education, this community offers that. The other thing about this community is just has an overall feel that's great. They did a wonderful job of mixing a luxury homes in with what I would call below luxury homes, in that $800,000 to $1 million price range. There's a lot of homes in there. Of course, there's lots of homes over $1 million. Not too many homes that you're going to find under that, detached homes under that $750,000 range. However, they've done a great job in Aspen on putting in townhouses and condos as well. So we have a lot of multi-family homes. So they've really did a great job of mixing that in. You notice over here too, we've got Safeway, we have Aspen Landing, so there's shopping here, Shoppers Drug Mart. There's some restaurants in here as well. This is really, as far as amenities go, a focal point of Aspen. The other thing that I love about Aspen is the streets are fairly wide apart. You notice if you drive through there, there's actually quite a bit of space, which I really like. It doesn't give you that feeling like some neighborhoods are, where everything is really closed in. So overall, it's got a little bit of everything. And you'll also notice there's a lot of green space, in Aspen. They did a nice job when they built this community of mixing in. There's a lot of trees. So, when you're walking your dog, you're into the trees, or you've got a lot of green space as well that you can take your dog out for a walk, or if you like to jog or just walk around, that also really makes it wonderful. The other thing, getting back to location, is COP. I mean, if you just go up 85th Street, you can get to COP pretty easy. If you want to be able to get your kids in the ski program, that's a wonderful place to do. You've also got the West Side Rec Center, which is an absolutely beautiful rec center. So you've got the hockey rinks, the swimming, the fitness area, and that's really a focal point as well. And that's just off 69th Street. So these are all pluses. And then the last one, as far as amenities go, is you do have the C train that comes right into Aspen. So I mean, that's a real bonus when you're looking at being able to just get on the train. If you work downtown, That's just really easy access to be able to get downtown. Now you'll notice over here, it says established in 2001. That's when they started building in Aspen. So you can see that all of the properties in Aspen are maximum, as it stands of this video, about 23 years old. But there's also a tremendous amount of homes that have been built just in the last 5 years. So if you like something newer, you can get into there too. So as far as price range goes, you'll notice on the west side, this takes into account all the west side, not just Aspen Woods. But you are going to pay a little more to be in the west side. It's really that simple because people love living on the west side, so they will pay a little more. So your median price or benchmark price is $671,000. Now, if we drill that down to Aspen Woods, you notice that $811,000 is your benchmark price when you take into account all of the properties in Aspen Woods. So it is going to be a little bit more money to live there, no doubt about it. I'm going to show you a couple of other stats on income and demographics for Aspen Woods. But you can see that's why people like to live here. Now I'm showing you the housing price index, and you'll see since 2005, prices have gone up 127% since 2005. And you notice the 10-year increase is 21.65%. And, even in the last 6 months, actually prices have even dropped just a little bit overall in this market that we're in for Calgary, which is a really strong market. So it's actually good to see just a little bit of softening in there, but primarily because at this price point, you are going to see a limited amount of buyers that can get in. So if you're watching this video and that's just a little out of your price range, totally understandable. That's why there are lots of other really good communities in Calgary that I would consider. But if you are in a position to be looking at properties in that, I'll say anywhere from 650 up, Aspen Woods may be a very good option to consider. Here's some stats that were taken in 2021. I think I always just find it really interesting when I look at this. As far as age groups goes, and you'll notice that in Calgary, for example, you can see that our largest population is between 35 and 39. So we have a really young city in Calgary, and that's great. And we're actually attracting more and more young people coming here, and that's going to do nothing but make our city better, because the age group of 30 to 39, these are the people who are now starting their careers, and they're making a very big contribution to our economic environment. Now, if you come over here to Aspen, though, you'll notice that the bulk of the people are that 45 to 49, which also makes sense because typically when you're 35 to 39, you're getting started. You're maybe having a young family, maybe getting married, starting to have children. You're just starting out. By the time you're 45 to 49, you're usually on to maybe your second or third home, and your income has also increased. And that's what you would expect to see for Aspen. But the good news about this is that this is a very family-friendly community. You notice here in Aspen that you've got 65% of the people that are married with children. And if you look over on the Calgary stats, you've got 63%, so even just slightly higher. And that just makes for a great community, because if you are going to move there and raise your children, really good schools, great amenities, lots of activities for the kids, lots of other families that live in the area, and that's what really makes this neighborhood really attractive for families. Okay, community number 2 that I've selected is Auburn Bay, and this is in the southeast part of the city. So if you don't know Calgary too well, you'll see that it's way down here in the southeast. But I love this community. Number 1, of course, it's a lake community, so you can see that there is a lake here, and that's a big deal. For families, everyone who lives in Auburn Bay, their lifestyle does revolve around the lake. In the summertime, it's about taking the family out to the lake and enjoying it. You can fish, you can do boating, you can swim, play volleyball on the beach, just enjoy that. In the wintertime, you can play hockey on the lake, you can skate on the lake. So it's a complete lifestyle of Auburn Bay. And they've done a great job here of being, it's next door to Mahogany, which is another lake community. But Auburn Bay is a little more affordable, and you've got a really good mix here too, primarily of detached homes and attached homes. But we have a smaller amount of luxury homes, so this becomes a lot more affordable for people. I really like the location too, because this is also along Stony Trail, and now with the ring road going in, this gives you great access to go up north. If you work up north by the airport, you could easily take Deerfoot to go up there, or you can take Stony Trail and go up. Easy access to the west if you want to head out to the mountains, or of course you're already on the south end of the city, so if you want to head down to Okotoks or Waterton Lakes down south, it's really easy access to do that as well. There are a lot of amenities here right on the border between Auburn Bay and Mahogany. So you'll notice there's a ton of restaurants, there's Save on Foods, I believe Safeway, all kinds of stuff here. So you have no problem as far as amenities go. And also you're not too far from South Centre Mall if you need to get to South Centre Mall, or head down to the southern end of Auburn Bay where you get into Seaton. There's also a lot of other amenities down here as well, and also including a rec center. So I love the fact that this has a lifestyle that comes with it. So what to me makes a community a real family-friendly community is when you come home from work, there's a lot of things to do, and Auburn Bay does offer that. Now you'll see, as far as the the benchmark price, including condos and including detached homes down here in the southeast, if you take all of the southeast, we're at a price point of $557,200. So a lot more affordable to be able to get into this. And now right here, if we look at the benchmark price on the housing price index, you notice that we're at $626,200. So you can get into a townhouse in Auburn Bay for probably still in the 400s. You can get into a half duplex in the 5s, and of course starting in the 6s you can get into a detached house. You'll notice since 2005 the prices have gone up 200%. They've gone up in the last 10 years 37.85%. So you can see this neighborhood is a good neighborhood to invest in. Prices go up because there's a demand. And of course, there's one last bonus I didn't even mention. That's the South Campus Hospital. And that's a really big deal, having a hospital right close by to where you live in your lake community. And that's all of the features that really make Auburn Bay a fantastic community to consider. Now, here's the final stat I always like to look at. And you can see the age group that is most popular is that 35 to 39 with 2,305, and you can see that drops down to 44. So very different than Aspen Woods in this video. You can see a lot of young people like to come here and start their families, and that's why you've got a lot of children in the neighborhood. And if you're in that age group, you're definitely going to make a lot of connections in that area. All right, my final community that I just love is Edgemont, one of my favorite in the Northwest. And you can see, if you don't know Calgary that well, it is up in the Northwest. And as I drill down here a little bit closer in, you'll see that we are nestled right next to Nose Hill Park. And if you don't know Calgary too well, this is in the Northwest, the elevation is actually higher than in the South. So we do go up in elevation. And what you do get with Edgemont, because we are in the foothills of the mountains, you'll notice that there's a lot of green space, which is great, a lot of ravines, and it's a kind of a lot of rolling hills in here, which you'll notice there's a lot of walkout basements that you're going to find in Edgemont. And there's also a lot of properties that do have mountain views. If you really would love to get a mountain view, Edgemont has quite a few properties that could give you that. It's tremendous to be next to Nose Hill Park. This is a absolutely amazing park. If you have pets, you want to walk the dog or just get out, there's all kinds of animal life. It's a beautiful view over the city in Edgemont. You can't go wrong with that. If I just even take a quick little picture of it, you can see these are some of the photos. You can see that's kind of the view you're going to get if you're in Edgemont or in Nose Hill Park. So that's a real bonus, having access to that so close by. I think you'll find Edgemont just gives you it's one of those communities that just gives you a lot. Now, keep in mind, this community was established in 1978, so you're not going to see too many newer homes. If you get up into the northern part, close to Country Hill Boulevard, you'll see a lot of homes in there were built in the mid-2000s, but most of the properties built here were built from 1978, onwards. So you will notice that there's a lot of people who have renovated, and if you're really into renovations, this is one of those neighborhoods that you could buy a home and do a major reno and still get your money out of it, because there's a real high demand for people who want to live in Edgemont, and they're willing to pay a good amount of money to be there. You will notice that there are some amenities. Of course, you've got the athletic club. On the very top end of Edgemont, you do have Save on Foods up there, or is it Superstore, I should say, and of course a lot of other shopping around there. But it's just easy access. I mean, because you can get over to Crowfoot if you want to do more shopping at Crowfoot. That's easy to do. You're so close to Stony Trail on the north side. You notice if you look up here, you can get onto Stony Trail and you can go shopping at either Market Mall, or you can get out to Cross Iron Mills if you have to go to the mall. Really easy access to get out to the mountains. But again, the overall feel of the neighborhood is wider streets. The architecture of these homes I really like. They've got some really interesting architecture. If you don't like cookie cutter neighborhoods, Edgemont is the perfect neighborhood for that. So you will find, as far as demographic goes, it's a little bit of an older crowd. You can see here that the highest amount of people living in Edgemont are 65 to 69, and it's purely because, it's such a popular neighborhood. It's one of those neighborhoods, once you live there, you don't really want to move. So you can see there's a lot of people in their 60s who bought back in the 80s, and they're still there to this day. But you still have, that being said, a pretty decent amount of people from 45, to 50, 55. So there are young families that are still there as well. But similar to Aspen, you don't get as many people coming to Edgemont buying their first home. So the Northwest has a benchmark price for the entire Northwest of $617,200, and that's up actually 14% in the last year. But if we go over to the housing price index, you'll see here with Edgemont, we're at $665,000. So definitely it's still affordable to get into Edgemont, but remember, there's also a lot of homes that have sold that are dated. There are the people that have left Edgemont. There are many that lived in their home for 25 years, 30 years, started downsizing. They have a dated home, and there's been many people that have bought those homes and then gone in and done a renovation. But it's really easy, depending on what part of Edgemont you're in, it's really easy to be able to, like I said, spend some money and still get your money out of it. And then you could be there for, another 20, 25 years yourself. It's worth it. It's one of those neighborhoods that's worth putting some money into a house if you're willing to do some renos on some of these dated houses. You will see that the prices since 2005 have gone up 187%. They've gone up 39% in the last 10 years. So this area has proven to be just a good ROI, but more importantly, it's also ROL, which I call return on lifestyle. So definitely consider Edgemont as one of your communities to look at. Now, as always, if you have questions or comments, just do me a favor and throw them out there. I mean, I just gave you 3 neighborhoods that I like. Like I said earlier in this video, there are so many awesome neighborhoods in Calgary, so it's hard to single some out like this and make it sound like other neighborhoods aren't as good. There are many neighborhoods that offer so much as well. I just like to point out some of these things on my channel because people are constantly asking me about different neighborhoods. And of course, depending on what price point you're in, you can look at the best of the best depending on the price point you're in. And if you want to reach out to me, I mean, I'm happy to walk you through some of that. If you were to say, hey, this is the price point I'm in, what do you think are some of the best communities for the price range I'm in, and I can give you some great guidance on that. But I love your comments, and if you like the video, it's been helpful, sure, give it the thumbs up. You can obviously you can subscribe to my channel, because I do these videos every single week, and I do all kinds of different things. I don't just do stats like this. I even walk through communities as well, so you'll find that pretty interesting.